Welcome to episode 2 of our panel discussion on the module Religion, Culture and Society. In this panel, we are going to be talking about certain key concepts that you need to become familiar with while you do this course, and that includes religiosity, things like what is secularism, what is the difference between ethics and morality and religion, what do we mean by organized religion. So these are some of the things that we are going to be discussing in this panel. We have with us to discuss these issues. We once again have Professor Prema Kumara from the Department of Sociology of the University of Colombo, and we have Dr. Nirmal Ranjit Devasiri from the Department of History of the University of Colombo, and our very own Dr. Anton Pieratna from the Department of Social Studies. So I'm going to start off again with Professor Prema Kumara. Now, when we discuss religion and with the dawn of the Enlightenment, which you are familiar with now, we thought, or Enlightenment thinkers generally felt that this would be the age of secularism, that the importance or the relevance of religion would decrease, and instead secularism and scientific rationality would be the sort of defining belief system, as it were, for society. However, if you look around the world today, you see more of a resurgence of religion. So how do we explain that? Were the Enlightenment thinkers completely wrong in how they assess the role of religion in modern society?
I think, Harni, as you correctly pointed out, when the modernity actually emerged in European regions, most of the philosophers and also thinkers basically emphasize that the positions of the religion in the society would definitely decline, and in the political life, in our everyday life, religion would not play a vital role as it played actually in pre-modern societies. But that was the kind of idea basically theorized or conceptualized as a secularization by the sociologists. For instance, Peter Berger, he was basically bringing out this thesis as a secularization of society. That is very much actually the society is not basically governed by religious or theological values, but rather actually the scientific rational laws and thinking. So that was a very, very interesting idea. Religion would definitely confine into the actually private sphere. The religion would definitely disappear from the public sphere, the public. So that was a kind of an argument actually made by all the Enlightenment thinkers and later, of course, sociologists and anthropologists. But now, of course, you see now religious is coming back. Anyway, that's a huge argument in all around the world. Why actually religious is resurgence of religion? Why religion is coming back very strongly in the contemporary world, rather globalized, capitalized neoliberal world. So, in that sense, of course, religion is not really dying out. Rather, religion is basically, flourishing, and religious becoming very, very important. It has been playing very important role in the society, politics, and culture. But the later postmodern thinkers, largely, people like, even say Derrida and all, they were talking about acts of religion and how religion is actually important, and how religion actually playing every aspect of human life. But that is the concept actually developed by the coming back of religion, actually basically conceptualized as a post-secular society. How actually society being basically enter into the post-secular society. So the post-secular society, of course, religion is very much strongly coming back. Some argue, some anthropologists, the prominent anthropologists like Jane Kamarov actually argue that religion coming back because of actually the failure of modernity. Because modernity promised people deliver better life, that in a sense actually modernity has failed to basically deliver what it promised. Then of course, so as a result of that, now the religion is largely coming back. People actually largely becoming more religious, faith on religion, and go for actually religious explanation and seeking for some help from the religion. So that is what now the religion is coming back, but also actually religion is coming back in a very strong and also negative sense. If you look at the fundamentalism, religious fundamentalism, religious nationalism, Pentecostalism, and different religious movements, different religious sects are being actually mushrooming all around the world. Now even so-called secular societies, secular religion playing a vital role. For instance, if you take the United States of America, for instance, but the American state, of course, very much secular. But if you look at the American society, is very much religious. There's what we call the Bible Belt and all. People are very much, even the highly developed societies now religious, coming back very strongly. Even if you look at other developed societies as well. And also, of course, the people who are actually moving from non-Western society to the Western society, what we call diasporic communities. So they are also actually very much, part of this resurgence of religion. So in a way, actually, religion is coming back very strongly in the everyday life of people around the world.
Yeah. So do you think we are living in a post-secular society? How do you explain this sort of resurgence of religion, and where do you think the sources of religiosity, where do you find these things?
Well, I think this postism is very nice way to look at things. It is quite useful, but at the same time, I think that it is important to revisit the history of modern civilization. Yeah. Maybe probably from the early beginning of modernity, maybe 15th century or so. So I think when you, so then you would realize that the religion never ceased to be important actually. But what happened was that as a result of the what is called as modern, so that's a new realm of human activity emerged. And so it's especially in Europe, right? So with the development of a new bourgeois class, and so then the evolution of new modern thinking, the invention of the man by, man mean actually it's a gendered term, but it's right. So actually it is said that the man, or the how we call human detached from the God, right? So what you see in early Christian thinking, early Catholic thinking, is that the humanity, the human being, is not something to be celebrated. It's emerged out of the original sin, right? So now, but in modernity, in modern thinking, there's a new role for the sign for being human. For example, when you look at the Michelangelo's, the famous sculptures, and so there's a kind of celebration of being human, right? So you have the famous sculpture of David, right? So where the human body is, celebrated as a beautiful thing, and whereas, you can contrast these, these works of modern art, early modern art, with the pre-modern, the Catholic art, where the human body is not considered to be something to be celebrated. And so therefore this the new realm of human activity emerged, right? So then as a result of the enlightenment, you have the notion of reason as the ultimate reference of everything, right? So therefore so this clearly created a kind of rupture between the realm of God and the realm of human reason, right? So that is one may argue that rather than breaking away from religion, this is a kind of new religion, the age of the reason also, some kind of. So that is one way to look at it. And so of course, so then you have the modern democratic thinking, or the new the idea of democratic governance, and so they sort of in need of a different social realm, right? So which the practically, so there was a need to detach from religious the morality and so on, especially the capitalism, the economic, modern, industrialization, and so they needed a kind of separate treatment, separate approach to the society. So now actually, so this, so the bottom line is that, so there's a sense of what do you call the euphoria, right? Pragmatism, the optimism of industrial civilization. So which is not, I think earlier it was a religion which provided the ultimate emancipation for the human being, but with the industrialization and everything, so this modern development which emerged out of the human reason rather than the wisdom of God, the promise something, new kind of emancipation for the human being. Yeah. So that was the promise of the 19th century civilization, which is the age of, high peak of the reason.
That means actually the world transformed from actually God-centric thinking to sort of human-centric thinking.
Yes, of course. Yes. So, anthropocentric. Right? So then you have the path-breaking, the epoch-making events such as World War I, right? And then what happened? Yeah. What happened to this, the promise
of humanism.
Humanism, and so the emancipation, and so this Europe divided into two and killed each other, and then the rise of fascism and everything, right? So that's definitely they shook the entire the modern civilization, so to say, right? So then, you wanted a kind of new explanation and so on, right? So that's how I think that we have to sort of revisit the history of modernity. Right?
In a way, you're almost saying that the resurgence of religion is an indication of the crisis of modernity.
No, well, I wouldn't, even though we use it every day, even I myself, I think, use in the previous segment that, the resurgence of, return of religion. But still, I think, when you go deeper into the issue, it's not a resurgence.
Religion never went away.
That's already been there, so there's a kind of, so there's a revisit, there's one particular explanation, then one particular desire, right, by the, the modernist, right? So then, yes, I don't know if you allow me, I can go a little bit into the issue of religiosity, right? How to define religion. I found a very nice explanation from a classical text. So that is the Sigmund Freud Civilization and its content. So he let me just read out this small, very very nice section. He's talking about one of these outstanding men corresponds with me. This outstanding man is the outstanding man is that, of course, this Nobel Prize winning the French writer, the Romain Rolland, corresponds with me, and in his letters call himself my friend. I send him a little piece of mine that treats religion as an illusion. And in his reply, he said that he wholly agreed with my view of religion, but regretted that I had failed to appreciate the real source of religiosity. Right? What is this? This was a particular feeling of which he himself was never free, right? Which he had found confirmed by many others, and which he assumed was shared by millions. A feeling that he was inclined to call a sense of eternity, a feeling of something limitless, unbounded, as it were, oceanic. Right? So this oceanic feeling, it's the limitless, eternity, right? So this is a very, this feeling was a purely subjective fact, not an article of faith, no assurance of personal immorality attached to it, but it was the source of religious energy. So that was seized upon by the various churches and religious systems, directed into a particular channels and certainty consumed upon them. This sense of, we are belonging, so there's a kind of, we, in our lifespan, we have a limited life, and, our abilities are limited, but at the same time, so there's a sense of, from our childhood, we are exposed, when you look at the sky, and, there's a sense of, unlimited, existence and so on. So this feeling, which he called as the oceanic feeling, so this is a very important thing, right? So this is not specific to one particular organized religion. So that, I think, in a way, what he suggests is that, that is the source of the religiosity, right? So this is, the importance of this feeling never ceases to, even when you look at science fiction and so on, then, everything, has a reference to this feeling, right? I think the religion is very well placed to deal with this aspect. So I remember, I think just a few seconds, I think the Benedict Anderson, the famous writer, of the famous book, the Imagine Communities. So he said that the one of the I don't remember exact word, but one of the defects of the scientific thinking is that the failure to explain the accident.
Yes.
Right? Yes. So, for example, why my sister got an accident, and why she was born, handicapped, and these kind of things. Right?
Science doesn't explain.
Science doesn't explain. Yes. One may say that this question itself wrong question, but
but it's a question that we can ask.
Yes. Right. Yeah. So we said that in Sinhala we said that I matama mehema une. Why that happened to me, not
why me, not by others.
Not by others. Right. So then, so these are human questions. Right. So it is the religion, the religiosity is the terrain, the maya, how do you call it? That is the terrain, that answers,
deal with this
kind of things.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. That is why in Buddhism actually we have the karmic theory. It's very much connected with that kind of a,